Uncle Destiny here with you today again. It's coming to the end of June and it's time for the reading for July. So let's go ahead and get everything the ancestors in and see what they have to say for you. Alright, so we've thrown the bones, and unfortunately the reading surface is not as even as I'd liked it, but I think that also actually adds into the reading. Now, the bones as they fell, this one is going to be work, this one is home, and that one is family. Now, as you notice, like I said, this isn't as even of a reading surface, so all the bones collected much more around the work setting. And I think that is part of the reading in and of itself. Now, we also have the quartz piece and the copper piece also selected around the work bone. And what I see is that there's going to be some interesting movement around that subject, around work, and things are being gathered, things are coming together to create major shifts in support and changes. Now this, as in any case, could be the signs of a new job coming around or new opportunities. But there's elements here that are both about the divine connection that you find in work, and that's something you to be focusing on. What is your divine connection with your work? Is it actually serving your purpose? And if it is, how is it nourishing you? How is it supporting you? That's where we get with the copper piece, which is to remember, what is nourishing you? Why did you take this job? All of these things are questions that you're going to be needing to ask yourself so you understand what's coming up, what you need support in, and how you can be supported, because there's a lot of the support bones around this place. And in doing so, those support bones are going to be able to properly nourish you, but they can't nourish you if you're not understanding what they need to offer you. So, your focus in this next month is to figure out, is this job matching up with the purpose that you find you came into this job with, as well as into your life? Is this serving you the way it should? If not, then be open to asking for the support that is around you and helping you come into better connection with that support. Now the bones then trace over here to the home bone, and that also aspects of setting up to make sure that what's going on at home is also being supported from the work. Is it providing you a base to recover, or is it also providing you with a place to rest, or is it not? Now, since we have the broken rib bone showing up there may be some discomfort there. Hopefully that's just things like maybe some repair that needs to take place in the house. We move over here to the family, and everything's in parallel, so I don't see much major changes going on there. It's stuff that's going to be holding status quo. That can be a good thing. Now we also have these other supporting bones that come off here, off of the home bone. So there's a possibility, I would also say that there's a potential possibility of travel. Now, how far that travel is going to take you may be the aspect of finding a second home. Now that, I mean that both physically and metaphorically. Second home can also be with other family members, extended, or it could be you finding a second home in some other location, both domestic and foreign. So it's going to be about seeing those. Now, overall, what I see here is something definitely in African culture, is that of the talking drum. And in this case, these two here form the drum and the drum head, and here is the stick that's used to strike it. So there is definitely a matter of sounds, definitely a matter of communication that's going to be very big in this situation. And the talking drums were used not only to announce the call of war, but they were also to announce people. They were announced to when people had passed. They were a form of communication beyond when the distances were greater than a simple walk. So one of the biggest things in all of this is communication. Communication, not just between your family, not just in your home, but also in your work. And in a greater extent, also up into the spiritual realm. So how are you communicating there? Now, that also applies into, well, the political situation. And as many people are aware, if you're following any type of media nowadays, the world has been through a bunch of things, and it's not going to stop. Now, what's key here is what we choose to develop, what we choose to want. And I mean this more so than going beyond just what politics is at play. And this is much more than politics. This is about our soul development. This is about who and what we are and what we're creating. Now, I would strongly recommend you go back and watch my readings for this year and hear what I've said there. It's going to be about your choices, and that is where you have the greatest power, is in your choices. But how you communicate those choices together also matters, and that's where we see the communication here with the drum. Are you communicating in such a way that it's being heard in a loving, supporting, and building way, rather than a fearful, hate-filled, and destructive way? So, choices remain for you. Choices is your power. Even when you feel like you have no power to change anything else, you do have a choice. So, embody that choice and choose what only you can do. What to either love and build or hate and destroy. Now, that's going to be a question that's going to become much more important in these next several months, as we have now also had the summer solstice, which now changes the energy into much more dynamic and a much hotter energy. And it is what is contained within the heart. Now, if that's for those of us in the northern hemisphere, if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're right now in winter. And it's again a time of containment, where the diamond also holds that too. So, this is Uncle Destiny on behalf of the spirits and the ancestors, wishing you well, ashe, and peace and love, and know that you are loved, if not by the people in this world, but by the ancestors. But you do have a choice on your path. So choose that builds for the 7 generations to come, not just for the moment.